All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So the NFL preseason is here. We got the New York Jets and the New York Giants tomorrow. It's absolutely crazy that the offseason just flew by, and I wanted to bring on Kevin from Baddog Sports. Kevin, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, Ian. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm pumped up for tomorrow. It
Oh
seriously
yeah,
cannot get here fast enough.
I know football's here, man. Hey, listen, the offseason always flies by. Nice weather, it flies by, man.
For
But
sure.
you
So,
live in Florida, you don't have that problem.
yeah,
It's always nice
that is
down
true.
there.
Well, I
That's
mean,
a,
cool. Like a cold day for us is like 65.
I
So, I
love it.
mean, we're just sweating the entire year, but pretty
Yeah,
much,
yeah.
it's pretty much late, high 90s all summer, June, July, August. It's crazy. But man, when I take a look at the New York Giants this offseason, kind of what they did, they kept Patrick Graham, who, by the way, interviewed for the New York Jets head coaching job, but they went out and they spent some money. Kenny Galladay, they added some big name pieces, Kadarius Toney in the draft. But I feel like pertaining to this game, none of those guys are going to play. Like none of the superstars are going to play. I mean, Saquon Barkley, I think, is out as well. I mean, what's your take on all of these players either injured or battling to come back from injury? Like what's going to happen on Saturday night as far as the superstars of the team are concerned?
Yeah, well, Kenny Galladay's got a hamstring injury, which, as Giants fans, we hold our breath a little bit because he had this problem in Detroit as well. And they spent a lot of money on him to get Daniel Jones a true number one receiver, knowing that this year is really make or break for Daniel Jones, Dave Gettleman, probably Jason Garrett, and a lot of the New York Giants, which is why they went out. They took such a big swing in free agency, spent a lot of money to bring in a Galladay, to bring in a Kyle Rudolph, to bring in a Dory Jackson on the defensive side of the football. So obviously you're going to worry about the injuries because both of those guys have some concerns. Saquon Barkley coming off the reconstructed knee, back to practice, which is a good sign, but obviously you don't want to do anything to really get the guy injured. It's just week one in the preseason. So really, what are you looking at? Normally when we would have the 4-week preseason, you would have your starters play like one series, maybe two. Then they play, maybe like a quarter in a series into the second quarter. Then the third game, they're playing the half. And the fourth game was just for guys fighting for the roster. I feel like the Giants are kind of doing it backwards this year, and this is going to be the game. So no Daniel Jones, no Galladay, no Saquon Barkley. I do believe Kadarius.
Sorry to cut you off. No Daniel Jones either?
No Daniel Jones at all. And I was surprised, not even a series. He is not going to play.
Is that because of it? Like, what's the reasoning behind that?
I honestly don't know. I would say the guy should get a series or two, but I really don't know why he's not playing. It's baffling to me as well. Because Zach Wilson's getting a couple of series from what I understand.
Yeah. So I mean, it's crazy you mentioned that. Robert Saleh actually addressed that the other day in a press conference. He's at least going to be playing the entire first quarter, possibly more. So, I mean, on the surface, it's obviously like the Zach Wilson show. He's kind of headlining the preseason matchup, but I thought Daniel Jones was for sure going to get in there. I mean, he's not like no offense, he's not like a top 5 guy or like an Aaron Rodgers or a Brady where he has it like completely locked down. I feel like these reps could be valuable for Jones.
Yeah, no offense taken. Trust me. If anybody's hard on Daniel Jones, it's yours truly. But yeah, I agree. I don't know exactly what the thought process is here with not playing him. Like I said, at least a series or two. He could definitely use the reps. But I think this is what it is. If Kenny Galladay was healthy, maybe they do try to get their chemistry down. If Saquon Barkley's healthy, maybe they try to. But the fact that maybe there's no superstars playing for the New York Giants, they decided to hold Daniel Jones out because it's really not going to benefit him to throw to a lot of guys that he wouldn't be playing with in the regular season. That's the only thing that I could come up with why Joe Judge decided to sit him. I do think Kadarius Toney is going to play, so at least we'll have him to look at. And, that a lot of guys just kind of fighting for positions. They're going to cut 5 guys after the game. And I'll be looking forward to the defense. I'm looking forward to seeing guys like Xavier McKinney, who battled an injury last year, but came on the last 4 games and was pretty solid. Of course, the rookies. I'm sure Azeez Ojulari is going to play and everything else. So I'll look forward to seeing what the rookies can do. But I think that's why Daniel Jones isn't playing. Just like I said, there's no superstars in there. I think Kyle Rudolph's also out. So there's really nobody that he would be throwing to in this game. So maybe that's why they held him out. Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Azeez, funny you bring up Azeez. I mean, that guy was electric back at Georgia. Electric. I mean, when you guys picked him, I'm like, the Giants could have gotten an absolute steal there. But I mean, really, the thing that impresses me the most about the Giants defense is just the secondary overall. Peppers, Logan Ryan, Bradbury's a beast, and then Adoree Jackson as well. I mean, I feel like Adoree Jackson kind of gets forgotten about a little bit, but I mean, he's coming over from Tennessee, signing that multi-year deal. I mean, what do you think Jackson's role is going to be with the defense? Just a starting outside corner? Is he going to move around a little bit? What are you expecting from Adoree?
Yeah, Dory will be the number two. And it's
Okay.
Bradbury was so locked down last year, it was awesome. But then, we had Isaac Yiadom on the other side, and he was a train wreck. But I think Dory will strictly be the number two. I think you're going to see a lot of three safety sets from the Giants with McKinney, Peppers, and Logan Ryan. I also think you're going to see Julian Love do a lot. He's very versatile as well. He can play corner, he can play a little bit of safety, can play a little bit in the slot. So he can move around a lot. But I think your corners with the Giants and Bradbury and Dory Jackson are set. He's definitely a massive upgrade. And the Giants they paid him a lot of money. I don't know if that had to do with the Eagles talking about meeting with him the next day, but he got $39 million for 3 years, and he's been injured, hasn't had an interception in 2 years, which worried some guys, and it's understandable. But he's such a big upgrade. He's going to be tested because nobody's going to go after Bradbury's side. So I'm sure teams are going to test Adoree Jackson right away. And but still, it's such a massive upgrade. And obviously, without maybe with Azeez Ojulari, you could consider him an edge. We didn't really address the edge. We got Leonard Williams. But the Giants and Patrick Graham's scheme, they like to bring pressure from all over the place. They bring the pressure from the secondary. And the fact that the secondary is so good, it can lock down guys. You're going to see a lot of coverage sacks for the Giants this year, in my opinion. But yeah, I like the Adoree Jackson signing a lot. I like it.
I just feel like, I mean, yeah, the starters are obviously great for the Giants defense, but the depth there as well at numerous positions. I mean, they got Richie Grant, I think, from UCF. And I mean, you just named all those guys, Julian Love, all those different guys. And I mean, the Giants are still investing picks and free agent signings in that room. But because Golladay, because Barkley, because no Daniel Jones, a bunch of these guys aren't playing. Is there anybody that you have your eye on specifically, maybe a backup, second, third teamer that could surprise people? I mean, I feel like, and I mean, it's crazy because Victor Cruz was one of those guys that just burst onto the scene. I mean, it was against the Jets, unfortunately, but when I look at the Giants roster, they do have a couple guys that I feel like could be sleepers. We talked about Azeez a little bit, but is there anybody that you have your eye on specifically?
Well, I think a lot of Giants fans have been talking about David Sills. That's a name you've heard in camp for the last couple of years. And last year he was blowing up camp and he got hurt. This year he's also doing really well on camp, and he's actually moved up the depth chart against ahead of Pettis and the other guy's escaping me. I lost his name, but he's moved up the depth chart a little bit. So I think you're going to see David Sills play. You're probably going to see Darius Slayton play. Maybe get a good look at Kenneth Gainwell. That was a rookie that we drafted out of Arizona, running back there. Corey Clement's a guy that I'm really interested in seeing. Corey Clement, we got him from the Eagles, or he played from the Eagles, and the Giants picked him up, and he's had a really good camp. So it'll be interesting to me. They also signed Devontae Booker in the offseason. It'll be interesting to me to see who emerges as the backup running back. They also brought back Alfred Morris. So that's definitely one position I'm looking at, because Saquon Barkley, I don't know if he's going to be ready for week one. And even if he is, they're probably not going to give him a lot of touches. You're going to have to kind of work him back into football shape, and you're not going to want to overload him coming off the knee injury. So I think that's really a position that I really want to take a look at as far as the Giants go, is that backup running back situation.
Cool. So what matchup are you looking forward to most, or what are you going to be honing in on tomorrow night?
I'm really interested to see Zach Wilson play. I was happy to hear that he is going to play. I was Jets 24/7 actually in the stream last night with me and Chris. Said he was going to play one or two series. Are you saying he's going to play the whole first quarter, or Salah saying he's going to play the first quarter? I'm excited. I want to see what he does. A lot of guys know that watch my videos that I was never a fan of Sam Darnold, wasn't a fan of Mark Sanchez at all. I don't like USC quarterbacks. So I was not a fan of either one of those guys, but I do like Wilson a lot. So I think the Jets did it right this time. I think they got a good quarterback. So I'm definitely seeing it. And of course, Patrick Graham's defense is going to be very vanilla. You're not going to have defense, complex schemes, and all this stuff. But I am interested to see how the rookie does against a pretty formidable Giants defense and secondary. So I think that's really what I'm looking forward to the most in this game, is seeing your quarterback play. Because like I said, I like Zach Wilson. I think he's going to be good. So I'm interested to see what he's going to do.
Are you leaning more towards him looking pretty good, or more so on the negative side? Because we've heard, I mean, he's had some great days in training camp. He's had some so days. And obviously in the, I don't know if you followed the green and white scrimmage matchup, but there was definitely a lot that needed to be worked on. But how do you think Zach Wilson's going to look? I mean, you've seen how. I mean, you've seen every Giants game for the past, I don't know, however many years.
Long time, brother. Long time.
Yeah, long time. So, I mean, this Giants defense better than anybody. How do you think Zach Wilson in his first NFL appearance is going to look?
I mean, most rookies struggle. It's a massive jump. It's the toughest jump in football is, quarterback, especially when you play for BYU and you go to the the NFL. It's such a massive upgrade because the defenses are so much faster. The cornerbacks are bigger, they're stronger, they're quicker, they close on the ball a lot quicker. And you really have to anticipate your throws, which is something Daniel Jones still isn't really good at, which is what drives me crazy and why I rag on him so much, because his processing is still really slow. And you want to see Daniel Jones improve in the third year. So I think Wilson may have that problem where he just processes a little bit slowly. But I still think that he's going to make some good throws. And again, like you said, he's had good days and bad days. I think you'll see him have good plays and bad plays against the New York Giants defense. But I don't think, I'd be surprised if he comes in there and blows it up. And I'd be surprised if he was a complete failure. So I think he'll have some good throws. I think you'll see some nice things from him. But I don't think if he does have a bad game that Jets fans need to worry because, again, rookies have a tough time adjusting to the NFL. And I think that he'll be just fine.
Yeah, and you talked a little bit about Daniel Jones, but I mean, I feel like, man, I really feel like Daniel Jones, there's some stuff that he does really, really well. And then there's, I mean, I hate to say it, but like 60%, maybe 70%, the majority of Daniel Jones is like, I just feel like it's so inconsistent with like turnovers and holding onto the football, fumbling, pocket awareness, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Do you think Daniel Jones is the answer?
I
know it's a big question, but do you like, as far as the future is concerned, do you feel comfortable with him at the helm?
I have never flip-flopped on a player in my life as much as I do Daniel Jones. I've said I'm an EKG machine. I'm like this with Daniel Jones. It was one day I'm like, this is the guy. The next day I'm like, this guy sucks. I don't want him here. He's terrible. So I've definitely come out and said he can't do it. He's not the future. Then there's part of me that says, listen, I know he's got the physical gifts. You've seen the talent. He can make the throws. He's athletic. He does a lot of good things. But then, it's his processing, his inability to go through, progressions and feel pressure right up in his face and protect the ball. And there's a lot of things he does well, and there's a lot of things he does poorly. I think that we'll have a better idea of what Daniel Jones is after this year. I don't think there's any more excuses for Daniel Jones. I think now that you got a Galladay, now that Saquon Barkley's going to be back, and again, the offensive line is still a big question, but this is also the second year under this system. There is no excuses. I think we'll have a better answer to if he is the future at the end of this year, which is why I think Dave Gettleman traded back in the draft. I think that's insurance in case he is poor, that either maybe the Bears have a bad pick, the Giants have, are a good pick because they're bad. They have a top pick. Giants have a top pick, or you combine the picks and move up and get maybe. I've heard Sam Howell already. I've heard Spencer Rattler, who's my guy, being an Oklahoma guy. But I think this is year. I think we'll know what Daniel Jones is after year 3. I don't think there's going to be any question what he is. We'll know for sure after year 3.
Yeah, I mean, because you take a look at the personnel moves that the Giants made. I mean, they already have some playmakers, like you said, Slayton, Barkley, but then they go out and they add Galladay, they add Kadarius Toney, huge piece. I loved him at Florida. I mean, he was, if the Jets didn't draft, an Elijah Moore or an Elijah Vera Tucker with that second first or our second round pick, Kadarius Toney was like the guy for me. Like, I loved him. So I mean, when the Giants picked him, I'm like, damn it, man. Like, this sucks that he's going to New York, the other New York team. But from a schematic point of view as well, I mean, he's in his second year in the Jason Garrett offense as well. So I think that's going to be big. But Kevin, I appreciate you taking the time. I know it's super late. I know you're a busy guy, but I appreciate it.
Hey, Ian, I appreciate you reaching out to me and having me on the channel, man. I love what you do, man. You're one of the best Jet content creators out there. So the fact you reach out to me and wanted to do this, I really appreciate it. And hey, man, anytime you want to collab, you let me know. We'll get together. Yeah, good luck this season, by the way. Jets fans, good luck this season. From a Giants fan. I'm a Giants fan. Good luck, Jets fans. I hope Zach Wilson kicks some ass for you guys.
Yeah, man. Sounds good. Well, all of Kevin's links are down below in the description box, Twitter, Instagram, and of course his YouTube channel as well. So thanks so much for watching. And as always, go Jets.